Listen once again to at least part of those remarks from President Trump speaking to reporters earlier today. He also addresses what we might hear in this appearance. Actually, we do see President Trump now stepping up. So let's take you straight to the White House for this address to the nation happening live.
Months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world, but they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states, where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs. And that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen. AI, automobiles, we're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special we call warrior dividend before Christmas, a warrior dividend in honor of our nation's founding in 1776. We are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. One, until about 30 minutes ago, we made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military. And I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military. And last year, we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called most favored nation. And no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, trumprx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me, because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot and mortgage payments will be coming down even further early the new year. And you will see this in the new year. I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going of all net job creation has gone to American born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation has stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected. And our country is back stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
We just heard from President Trump delivering an address to the nation live from the White House tonight. We brought you that speech in full. He touched on a number of achievements in his first year in office.
Listen, they put the intern on the screen. We could do better than that. Shout out to Sucker Season Clothing. Thank you for the hat. Thank you for the shirt. Appreciate it. Y'all go check out Sucker Season Clothing. That was an excellent speech from President Trump. I mean, I didn't detect a single lie. I really love this speech because it really brought the focus back to the things that matter. When you listen to the president speak and list all of his accomplishments and our accomplishments as a nation, it really puts things in perspective. If you're always watching the media, if you're always watching the news, their job is to kind of get you emotional about a lot of stuff that really doesn't matter. When I was listening to Donald Trump talk about the great American comeback, 100% of new jobs going to American citizens, um, talking about the wages outpacing the cost of living or the inflation. I'm not even thinking about Venezuela drug boats. I'm not even thinking about illegal immigrants getting due process. It's finally good to have a president who's actually working for America. They make you feel guilty about wanting your president to work for you, which is not fair because everywhere you go, the president of those countries work for the people of those countries. Japan makes sure that Japanese people are good before they think about anybody else. If you go to Turkey, the Turkish president makes sure that the Turkish president people are good before they think about anybody else. If you go to India, the Indian president makes sure that the Indian people are good before they think about anybody else. And a lot of these countries don't ever think about anybody else. Everything is about how they can bring more prosperity to their people. Why are the American people made to feel guilty about wanting the same thing? Why are we evil if we don't want to give the little bit that we have to somebody else? It's almost like inviting someone to sleep in your house and then you got to sleep outside. Listen, we only got one country, and the majority of the world looks at Americans as these crazy, prosperous people. So if we ever hit hard times, they probably wouldn't even want to help us. It's really great to see a president who is unashamed to compete. He's not, you know, he's not like feeling guilt for being successful. That's very refreshing. And that's why you see a lot of people saying, Donald Trump is probably the greatest president of all time. I mean, for me right now, it's between Trump and Washington. But I mean, that's good company to be in when it comes to the greatest presidents of all time. I mean, Washington went through a lot to get to the point where he could become president. He fought for this joint, for real, for real. And Trump is a draft dodger. But beyond that, I mean, Trump's right there. His strength is in the business space. His strength is in the corporate office, and I think he's doing an incredible job. He got on the podium, and I what I really love about his speech was he said everything he said with such confidence. And when someone speaks with that level of confidence, it's really hard to believe that what they're saying is not true. We didn't really see that with Biden. Biden was speaking as if he had been given a list of accomplishments. He never sat in on any of these deals, and he was basically just reading off a list of things people told him he accomplished as president. Trump speaks as if he was sitting in the room on every single deal. At the minimum, he's pulling the strings of the people who are sitting in the room making the deals. And I'm sure many of those people are his children and his son-in-law, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I felt like I just listened to the CEO of a major corporation list and give you a rundown of the company's earnings and the projected earnings for the future. I felt like I was sitting there listening to Steve Jobs or something, telling you about the milestones that Apple had crossed and about the projections in revenue in tech that Apple is going to pursue or try to reach, or that they believe they'll gain, in the following term. I love it. It was all business. He threw in a little bit of jokes. He kept it professional, kept it very presidential. But I wouldn't even say that being presidential is a good metric because we've had such bad presidents lately, other than Trump. He just kept it gangster. I mean, look, I did this, and this. Now, what can you do? And I think Trump is overwhelmingly raising the bar for future presidents. It's going to be really hard to follow Trump. But what I love is that there has been a standard for the first time in a long time. I would say since Reagan, there has been a standard set for what is required of someone who takes on the task or the job of becoming the president of the United States of America. I believe for too long, the presidency was just like an administrative position. You're just paper pushing. Sign, don't sign, veto, sign, don't sign. This type of crap. Business as usual. But now I see the office of the presidency being wielded like a damn hammer, swinging the hammer a nail, you know, in the framework of America, like rebuilding it back to its former greatness, right? I get that feeling from Trump. I get that feeling from him. And let me tell you something. Uh, if you never had steak and all your mama ever fed you as far as meat was bologna, once you try a well-cooked steak, a ribeye, something like that, even a strip, it's going to be very hard for your mama to get you back on bologna when you've tasted the sweet juices of a savory steak. That's what I believe Trump is doing. And guys, if you want to come up and talk, I see Nuantique, lies, lies, lies. Hey, my brother, you came to the right show. You came to the right show. Link is in the comments. You want to come up and tell us? We know they never come up. But I love to give a platform to people who don't agree with me. It's just my nature. There's a link, my brother, or yeah, that's a man, my brother. But so if you ever had a juicy steak, right? It's gonna be hard for your mom to get you back on that bologna. I haven't eaten bologna since I was a kid, since I was about 14. Haven't ate bologna. That's what I feel. That's the silent war or the silent strategy that I think Trump is implementing. Trump is going to say, what I think Trump is doing, I believe Trump is like, look, I'm going to introduce you to all these good things. I'm going to show you the full power of the presidency and how the presidency can change your life in real time immediately. And once Americans get used to that, we're not going to accept anything else. We're not going to accept anything less. I feel like everything you said was accurate. I mean, you might think it wasn't, but come up and enlighten me. I didn't hear one lie told. I didn't hear one lie told. I heard Trump say a lot of things that I already knew. Because I talk about Trump damn near every day. So but listen, if you guys detected lies, I gave you the link. Come on up. You can highlight and point out some lies that were told. Everything rang true to me. And I believe that, Trump, he's very unapologetic. He doesn't really care what you think. And he doesn't care if you think he's lying. Because like me, Trump understands what most of these people think doesn't matter, because most of these people are only saying what they're saying in a biased capacity. The same people who have an issue with Trump had no issue with the things Biden did or the things Obama did. So Trump is using basic human logic. Don't come at me like you got a problem with this when you sat up and accepted it and let it ride under the next guy. Yeah, so basically I'm supporting the new travel bans across Africa. There goes Pan-African. Did Trump implement the travel bans? I don't understand how Trump could ban you from going somewhere in Africa. It's just everything, everything just has to be nonsense, right? That's all we got. That's a lot. That's, and I understand it. That's all a lot of us have. It's just nonsense rebuttals to, to facts. I've dealt with it my whole life, and that's okay. That's okay. Your emotions, your ignorance, it's yours. You can have it, you can keep it. I have no issue with it. All I can do is respond to things that actually make sense. Logical, rational, rebuttal, or questions. But like I said, I detected no lies tonight. Trump's been doing a lot of work, probably the busiest president in an 11th month span in history. He's probably the busiest president in an 11-month span that we've ever witnessed. He should be proud of himself. He should pat himself on the back. And I love to hear the president say things that traditionally just aren't said. When he says, it's your money, you deserve the money, let's put the money in the pockets of the American people. I like that. I start rubbing my hands together like the Birdman. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I want to hear the president tell me it's my money because it is my money and that I deserve the money because I do deserve the money. When did you ever hear Biden say anything is yours concerning the United States government? Biden was trying to show you how much the government wasn't yours and how much control over your own body you don't have. And a lot of people bought that because a lot of people are cucks. A lot of people are just so damn used to getting beat down. They expect it and they accept it. And they really don't push back against it. But I love Trump. Trump's a lion. Trump's a strong man. He's a guy who's like, he likes to end on top. He likes to come out on top. Who doesn't? Only people who have been basically programmed into believing that they're victims or that they deserve to lose because that's how they show their humanity. Nah, humans want prosperity. And if you find yourself at a point where you don't want prosperity, you need to really do some, you really need to reflect and do some soul searching and see who convinced you that you deserve less. Because obviously you deserve more. That's just the way it is. But that's what I gathered from it. I put no lies detected for me. And it's hard to believe that this is just 1 year in. This would have been a big deal still if Trump had listed all these accomplishments at the before the midterms, after 2 years of being back in office. Trump literally did all this in 11 months. And all the people who hate Trump, the link is in the comments. You're welcome to come up, point out the lies that he told, point out any inconsistencies you detected in his message. I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to listen and let you have my platform to say it. As long as I see stuff like this, I'm fine. Trump is classless. Well, that's subjective. Classless? What does that even mean? Trump is classless. Yeah, okay. What the hell does that have to do with my pockets? Maybe he is, maybe he ain't. But I know a bunch of classy, quote unquote, people who would love to be in the room with Trump. So, yeah, I'm not voting for him because he's classless. So I'm going to vote to destroy my country and destroy myself because I think the president is classless. That makes a lot of sense. Now that I think about it, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a ton of sense. I need to start living the rest of my life like that. Let's Let's just live our whole life like that. You know what? I'm not even gonna wipe my ass today because the guy who invented toilet tissue uh was a Satanist. So in the name of Jesus, I'm gonna walk around with a dookie booty. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. C Fluid, like I said, you're welcome to come up here and explain it. Do you think the terrorists are classy? The ones that are gonna blow you up the minute somebody like Trump is not in office, a president who wants to defend you? The power of the world, dominance of the world is not going to be determined by who's the classiest. Dominance of the world is going to be determined by who has the brains and the brawn. That's it. Who knows how to make a deal? Who knows how to negotiate? Who knows about diplomacy? Who knows when to be firm and strong? And who knows when to make a compromise? Class is not in any of those. Class is, that's something that old sports players, sports coaches used to say when they didn't know what else to say. You got no class. Okay. Okay, okay, Mansour Candy. What the hell does that even mean? He's classless. How does that take away his accomplishments? How does that impact your life? Trump being classy has zero impact on your existence as an American, period. These people, he's classy. They're going to think of anything. Let's be real. The fact that this person went to this accusation of Trump being classless, all it proves is that he believes Trump gave a great speech. He believes Trump delivered everything Trump said he delivered. So now we have to go and become moral judges of morals and character. I'm not doing that. I would have to be the perfect person to judge somebody based on morals, morality, and character. Like, like Trump literally is just doing a great job as president. Beyond that, your personal feelings, I don't know. Somebody talk. Okay, here it goes. Talking about somebody after they were killed like a dog is one low life. SOB. He wasn't killed like a dog. He was killed by the monster that he created. Right here. Miami Black. $1,776 going to active duty troops as a bonus. That right there was major. The troops need all the support they can get, man. That was major love right there. And you could just tell that wasn't thought up by like a political insider. It takes an outside perspective to do that. Let's give the military a bonus. Let's get them fighting. Let's bring some people. Record level recruitment when there were so many people who were not joining. And you know why they weren't joining? It was because of the trans issue. He got rid of that nonsense. What do you know? What do you know? Recruitment is going back up. It's little things. We know how to make this country work. It's just you have so many people who try to make their mark on this country by trying to destroy it because they don't know how to build. They don't know how to maintain. All they know how to do is destroy. Men respond with action, not by just talking. 100% are facts. Let me see. Looks, you have no idea what you're talking about. Brainwashed. You know, usually it's the brainwashed calling everybody else brainwashed. He doesn't know he doesn't know what he's talking about. But when I gave Seafood the link to come up, no clico. No clica. But yeah, it was a great speech. Definitely shed some new light on how the Trump administration is moving. And I'm telling you, it's raising the bar. It's setting a new standard. And I can't wait for next presidential election because I want to see how the Democrats or like Gavin Newsom, I want to see how they're going to come back at this right here. All these things Trump's done, if Trump gives these $2,000 dividends checks, it's over for them for a while. because ain't no way Trump could do it. And then the Democrats gonna come win a presidency off of telling me how they can't do it. They do it for their corporate buddies. They do it for Ukraine and every country they want to use as a proxy, right? You know, it is what it is. But all the special treatment, all the grandiose spending packages. If we're gonna spend that kind of money, that money needs to be spent in the furtherance of America, in the prosperity, in rebuilding the prosperity of America. That's it. And if you ain't a part of that, if you're not trying to do that, or you don't want that, because I'm a black woman, I gotta vote against my own best interest. Oh, I'm a white liberal, I have to vote against my own best interest because that's what the party told me to do. Then you just need to get that. You need to get the hell out of the mix. Go chill at the house. But it's 2026 coming up. It's about to be 2026, and I promise you, that old bar, that old standard, that was like set for the presidency, where you were just basically a paper pusher. Those days are over. Those days are over. Trump has introduced us to filet mignon, filet mignon. You ain't bringing us that damn bologna, expecting us to munch down on that and be thankful for it. F that. C Fluid, I honestly don't care if you are right or left, but this administration is bringing this country down. God bless the guy that has to take over this guy's administration. A lot to clean up. Yeah. C Fluid, you'll never be able to tell us how he's bringing the country down. He's bringing the country down because I said so. All right. Because you say so, you win. It will be over for the Democrats when those checks come out. People love normalcy. And when you take that away from people, they push back. Ain't no way I'm letting the Democrat put me back in COVID situation. No way. No way I'm voting Democrat looking at the crime that's running rampant in the Democrat-run cities and states. Hell no. Hell no. I live in a Democrat-run state. I can't vote Democrat just because I've literally been a lifelong witness to their utter ineptitude. Period. Point blank across the board. They're incapable. They're too beholden to like special interests and far left fringe groups. Until they break that, they're useless. They can't help America. Yeah, COVID happened under Trump and Biden. But no, Seafluid is entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. I don't agree, but he or she is entitled to their opinion. For sure. But that's pretty much all I have to say. God bless Trump. God bless America. I hope all of you have a great night. This was definitely a W during a time of so many L's with the shootings and all that stuff. The local PD in Providence, Rhode Island, they won't even let the FBI help, and they can't find the shooter. But it is what it is. Thank y'all so much for watching this, joining me for the president's speech. Until the next time, take care of yourself, but most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.